The road we're on is paved in Garth.
Come along on the journey
as we explore
Garthology.
Think of it more as a conversation. I like that. So if this is truly a conversation, then I say let the conversation begin. Showtime!
Hey everyone, it's Deb.
And I'm Pete.
And I'm Jess.
Welcome back to Garthology. We're back together and ready to do another deep dive into Garth Brooks, his music, and the people surrounding him. In today's episode, we are going to finish off our discussion of Garth's 10th studio album, Gunslinger. So far, we've covered the first 8 songs, from honky-tonk party anthems to emotional ballads to arena rock jams. In Season 6, Episode 8, we covered songs 7 and 8. So if you haven't listened to that one yet, be sure and head back to Episode 8 after you listen to this one. As I mentioned previously, Gunslinger was released on November 25th, 2016. The album debuted at number 4 on the Top Country Albums chart, selling 19,000 copies in its first week as a standalone album. However, the standalone release of Gunslinger on November 25th wasn't actually the first release of Gunslinger. The first release of the album happened 2 weeks earlier, and it included 2 more songs, 12 songs in total. The Gunslinger 12-song edition was included in Garth's Ultimate Collection box set, which came out on November 11th, 2016. So although we aren't covering the extra 2 songs here, we will cover them when we discuss the Ultimate Collection box set. Now let's dive into track 9 on the standalone Gunslinger album, which is Cowboys and Friends.
Girl in the kitchen, and she's wearing my shirt. My buddies are honking, they're threatening to leave. Guess that beer on my nightstand will be breakfast for me. But that's how it goes with cowboys and friends.
Cowboys and Friends was written by Garth Brooks and Matt Rossi. It has that classic Western feel, a bit of like, to me, it seems like a campfire sway, almost like you're sitting by the campfire and you're swaying. And lyrically, it's just about people, the ones who ride with you, who stand by you, who know what loyalty means. It's not flashy, but it's solid is the way I think of it. The chorus is definitely the heart of the song for me, both technically, thematically, and emotionally. It celebrates the nature of cowboy camaraderie. They work hard, they play hard, they keep doing it over and over. The repetition of as soon as it's over, it all starts again. To me, that emphasizes like a life driven by those dependable friendships. It also reinforces a sense of tradition. When he says that's the way that it's been, to me, it's just showing how they choose to live. It's just part of who they are. Musically, the song is a traditional country western song, and it leans into that classic country instrumentation. The music elicits just the perfect imagery of rural life, old friends, and open roads. In the chorus, the melody seems to lift just slightly to me with more harmony and energy. It's not a big or dramatic shift. It's just enough to underscore the emotional weight of the lyrics in the chorus, which are about friendship and tradition. It's not my favorite song on the album. It's a little too slow for my taste, but I don't skip it either. So over to you, Pete. What do you think of Cowboys and Friends?
Yeah, Cowboys and Friends is a really cool country cowboy song. And again, we say it all the time. It really shows Garth. And I think this one highlights Garth's country voice. Really, really good. This song is true through and through. In my opinion, it's about a cowboy who works his butt off for the man. But with his buddies who are cowboys, all they know is how to party and just keep the fun going, like you were saying. The lyrics state that this guy goes to work, he comes home if he makes it, and then boom, he's right back out the door to party with his cowboy buddies. That sleep that we all want, it'll just have to wait. Like, what a great song line. My favorite part of the song is right in the beginning in the first couple of lyrics. And it says, I really think it sets the song up for the way that it's going to go. My head is aching and I'm late for work. There's a girl in my kitchen and she's wearing my shirt. Like, what a great lyric. It's so awesome. And then he talks about the beer being on his nightstand. That's going to be his breakfast. Like, oh, it's so good. Not my favorite song, but definitely one I don't skip either. I think that it does fit perfectly in this area of the album. And with the way that the tempo of the song goes, like you were saying, not really fast, a little slow, it almost seems like in a country way, it's kind of winding the album down, being that it's, the second to last song.
Yeah.
I thought it fit perfect where it was. I love the lyrics. I love Garth in it. I love the storyline and the picture that it paints. What do you think, Jess? What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I agree with you guys about the sound. It has a very traditional country sound, both vocally and musically. There's the slide guitar. There's basically all the things you look for in a country song. Slide guitar, fiddle, piano, and there's the little snare drum keeping the beat. So all the things you would typically hear. I think any card-carrying country music fan can proudly state this is a country song through and through. Because, Garth, he runs the gamut. There's different blends and different pieces to his music, but this is definitely a country song. Incidentally, it's even about cowboys, so I don't think you can get more country than that. I love Garth in this arena. I think his voice is really familiar here when he does these traditional country songs. He croons along, adding little dips and rises at just the right places. Deb, you talked about the music going up and down, and I think it keeps the song unique and interesting because it is a traditional country song, so you got to have something a little different, and I think Garth is good at that, vocally putting those things in there that sets apart maybe a song that would blend in a little bit more if he didn't have the know-how to put those little things in there to make it different. This song, though, the sound of it takes me right back to the 90s and experiencing Garth for the first time, sticking a cassette tape and then later a CD into a Walkman with my headphones and just turning the volume up as loud as it would go. I love it because it reminds me of those early Garth songs. As far as the story goes, I agree. It's about a guy and his buddies. It's telling the story of that kind of repetitive working life of a cowboy. I think this song is different than some of Garth's other cowboy songs because here he's talking more about a general cowboy in air quotes rather than a traditional, like a professional cowboy, which he has sung about in other songs like Night Rider's Lament and the Cowboy Song or even Rodeo. But I think this song refers more to a guy who drives a truck and works a blue collar job and switches back and forth between a ball cap and a cowboy hat. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But I think it's worth differentiating from one of his other cowboy songs. It's not my particularly favorite song either. I think it's not moving or compelling in an emotional way, but I really like it. I think it's got a great country sound and I still turn it up and sing along anyway.
Me too.
Yeah, that's a good point that it's what we would consider it's taking that spot on the album of a cowboy song, but it isn't a traditional cowboy. He's not out there roping steer and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a modern, who you think of as a cowboy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Thanks.
All right, now let's move on to the last song on this standalone release of Gunslinger, which is song number 10, and it's called 18.
And the girl made in Japan was made for me to hold. When dancing in near the night the thunder rolled. And the ride we took together was a rodeo. Big tree, 6 string, 18. And forever Everyone born 18 running.
18 was written by Garth Brooks and Jenny Yates, who we have talked about a lot on this podcast. And, we've talked many times also about how Garth always selects a song that is really special to him to be the final song on an album. But honestly, this song has always eluded me. I just have never understood, why did this song deserve the spot? Unlike many of his other albums, that ending song I always kind of understood why it got the spot. But this one, I've been like, really? Why 18? So I decided to really dig into the lyrics of this one and try to figure out why it means so much to Garth to hold that special last spot. And I was so surprised once I started researching these lyrics, because I don't know if you guys found this, but there is so much beneath every lyric of this song. Now, I started my research on the internet, of course, but the best information that I found was in Garth's latest anthology book, which that's anthology number 5, and it was released in April of this year, 2025. So first off, Trisha reiterated the importance of the final spot on the album. In the book, she's quoted as saying, "The last song is so often a special one." Now, the rest of the information that's provided in Anthology 5 was all news to me until I started looking into this. And I'm not going to give it all away, just in case some of you out there are like me and didn't know it. But I will give you some hints in case you didn't know the stories that Jenny and Garth provided in the book. So Jenny is quoted as saying that the song 18 is a puzzle and that the lyrics all add up to 18, just like it says in the lyrics. She goes on to explain that many of the lyrics have things within them that mathematically equal 18. And I was like, what? So, for example, Garth says in the book, the lyrics reference the song "He Stopped Loving Her Today," and the lyric says, "Kept some letters by his bed, dated 1962. So 1962 was the year that Garth was born, but also, if you add the numbers up together, they equal 18. Jenny is then quoted as saying every line and detail in that song has something to do with an event or time in Garth's life or something that moved him. So another example is the lyric, "The girl made in Japan for me to hold." Now, I just always thought that that's a lyric. I don't know that it referenced a woman that he was holding. But in fact, it means the guitars that Garth uses, the Takaminis. And that company was established in 1962, the same year that Garth was born, which of course, again, adds up to 18. So made in Japan, he holds them. It's a guitar. These lyrics are each a puzzle. I never put any of this together. So instead of clarity, the way most lyrics clearly tell a story, each line in 18 is something that we as fans are supposed to figure out. Oh my God, did you guys know any of this?
I did actually, yeah.
I didn't.
I didn't, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to read my notes the way I wrote them because I kind of knew it without knowing it. I'll get to it whenever it's my turn to give my thing, but I'm just going to read my notes the way they were. I didn't know any of this because I didn't look any of that up. I just knew what I recognized from the song or not.
Oh, that's funny. So no, I never got it. And I think it's the coolest thing ever. So, okay, I'm not going to go into any more of the rest of the 18s within the song. You're just going to have to check out Anthology 5 for yourself. And by the way, they didn't give away all of them and how all of them equal 18 in the book. So now we all have an assignment. We all have to figure out each of the lyrics and how each and every one of them adds up to 18. Now, let's go over to Pete. What did you think of this song?
So, okay, 18 off this album is my favorite song. It's always been my favorite song, I think, off the album, but before I knew the whole meaning behind it. Now, I remember hearing Garth do a interview a long time ago, and I quoted something he said in an interview here, and this isn't the interview, or maybe it was the interview, I can't remember, so I don't know about where I heard him say it, but I do remember hearing about the hidden lyrics and how everything equaled 18 at one point. I never went in and did the research. I never figured it out until I started doing the research for this podcast and in the Anthology 5. And that's how I learned about the Takamine guitars and all of that. Now, I know that he did do an interview, and I believe it was with Taste of Country. And he mentioned in that one that it's full of hidden messages and a lot of hidden gems. Every word has some kind of hidden trick or treasure in it, and longtime fans could dig it up and find out some meanings. Now, I have done some work, and Aunt Deb, I know you've done some, and I put here, I'm interested if the people listening to the podcast have done any digging and what their thoughts are. What are the things that they came up with? Hopefully they can message us on our socials and let us know what they're thinking. I think that would be a fantastic way to kind of get everybody's idea through our socials of what they found about this song, if they have, and if they haven't, maybe give them a little time to do so. And then we can actually probably do an episode on it, because there is so much to do with this song.
Right.
Now, I can't pick a favorite lyric or verse from the song, and I will admit, it's so funny that you brought that up about the letters kept by his bedside, because one of the, you hear him say the rodeo and the way that the thunder rolls and all of that in lyrics. But when he sings, and we heard about the letters kept beside his bed and how he never could forget her or the words that she said, that will forever be enshrined and underlined in red, such sad scenes, no pristine 18. I always thought that he was referring to the beaches of Cheyenne. That one verse.
Yeah.
Just the way that it's singing. But it doesn't have anything to do with the beaches of Cheyenne. So if you're not careful when doing the research, something so small like that really can throw you off. Because until I did the research in the anthology, I always thought that had to do with the beaches of Cheyenne. There are so many different ways that this song could go. Things it could mean, and I love it to death because of that. It is one of the most interesting songs that I've ever heard when you go beyond just listening to the lyrics. I love the song. My favorite off the album. I can't wait to hear what some people have to think about it. Jess, what do you think?
I love this song. First of all, the sound of it when it opens reminds me of Allison Miranda. The rhythm and the guitar, the weight, the tone of Garth's voice. Every time it starts, there's something about it that makes me think of that song. And I love Allison Miranda too, so that's fine. But I really love this one. And in my notes, I was like, I really love it. I can't tell you why. I do. It's kind of all over the place if you're trying to explain what it's saying, like if you were trying to tell it like a story. But I love the pieces and I love the sound of it. It's so funny because kind of a little bit of what both of you said, the part about the letters in the drawer, like tickled my brain. And I was like, that's a song. And I was like, that's referencing another song. And I also thought Beaches of Cheyenne, but then I figured out what I was like, oh no, I was like, I bet it's a song that he liked. And then I figured out what song it actually was. I never went and looked it up, but when you said it, Deb, I was like, oh, I did know what that was. But I was just guessing, like, I bet this, being Garth and that, I know he loves that song. But in the way that it's put together with all the pieces and kind of cryptic messaging, it reminds me of American Pie. Which, if you listen to that, there's parts of it that you're like, that doesn't make any sense at all. It kind of goes together, but it kind of doesn't. And you can tell it's referencing other things, but it's a great beat. And it reminds me of it because of that. But there's great lines in this song too, even though it's not telling a linear story. And what I said in my notes is it almost makes me feel like it's an inside joke. Like not a joke per se, because it's not funny, but something that's only supposed to fully make sense to Garth. Something that's meaningful to him. So I did kind of get what it was. I just didn't know what the things were. I didn't go research what they were yet, but it did when I sat down to do the research for, to listen to it for the purposes of the podcast. I was like, these things all have to mean something to him. Like they clearly, they're telling us something. I just don't know what they're telling us. And like I said, I can't explain why I love it. I love the pieces. I love the way some of it comes together individually, even though it's not telling a whole story. And musically, 100%, this is fantastic. It's a great driving song, so it's a win for me right there. But now I'm definitely going to go back and look in the anthology book and read about this song because I hadn't read that far yet. So I'm excited to go see all the little things and then see what I can figure out.
Yeah, because it was already tickling your brain, and now you'll go off and understand
I wasn't trying to do like any crazy mathematics with it, but I was trying to figure out like, what was that? Because it's like each, line basically is a separate reference to something else.
Right.
And I was like, some of these I can kind of just figure out and know what they are. But some of this, I'm like, I have no idea what that is. I'm going to have to go Google each thing to be like, what is that?
Well, yeah, and the lyrics even say it adds up to 18. And I still didn't get it.
I still would not have, I still wouldn't have gone there. And then even that it's like the number 8 and then the word teen, I'm like, is that significant? Like what, sevens are significant. Maybe 8 is significant to him for some reason.
Now, right? That's what's weird is we talk a lot about how different songs kind of paint a story. And like for me, a lot of Garth Brooks songs will put me in a place where it's almost like I'm watching the show. I'm watching the song unfold and talking about it here. This song doesn't paint a picture for me. It doesn't put me in a spot.
It would paint like a Picasso picture.
Right.
Right. Very confusing.
It's like I'm on acid just watching lights go around. Like, whoa, what's
But it's
happening
so good,
here?
though. It's so good.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like an acid trip listening to this one. But that's the thing. It's almost like I'm sitting in a truck and I'm just watching song lyrics fly by if I think about it. I'm not sitting there on the porch, watching this guy fall in love with this girl in the middle of the summer over this wheat field, right? Like, it's just not there. Thunder rolling in. Like, I just, I hear the song The Rodeo, and it's just like, man, it's throwing all these lyrics. I mean, it's a phenomenal song, I think. And now more so than ever, knowing the true meaning behind it, unbelievable.
Yeah, it definitely makes it even more special. So I get why it got that last spot now.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So there you have it, the final 2 tracks on Gunslinger, a traditional cowboy song and a puzzle wrapped in a song. So that's a new one. Now we've just got to know, like Pete said, have you figured out all the puzzles in the lyrics to 18? Do you know how each lyric adds up to 18? If so, reach out on any of our social media accounts to let us know. Have you checked out our website at garthology.com yet? If not, stop by today and check out all of our episodes. And remember to subscribe to our podcast on your podcast platform of choice. Hey, if you listen on Apple Podcasts, it's been a really long time since our last review. So if you get the chance, please stop by, hit that 5-star button if you like what you hear, and then write up a review to encourage others to listen. Then be sure and share us with everyone you know. That way you can help your friends in low places become Garthologists too.
Yeah, and speaking of friends in low places, if you guys are on social media, so are we. If you're on Facebook, you can find us at facebook.com/GarthologyCast. If you're on IG, Twitter, Threads, or TikTok, we are at GarthologyCast there as well. We would love for you guys to jump into the DMs, give us the thoughts and meanings on this song that we talked about and any other thing that you would like to hear from us. We appreciate your guys' support.
New episodes of Garthology are available on the 7th, 17th, and 27th of each month. Please join us for our next episode. Until then,
thanks for joining us for today's episode of Garthology. And I'm Deb.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Jess. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. And remember, love will always win. That was awesome.
Oh, that was great.
Finish it! Finish it!
Bloopers. New episodes of Garthology are available on the 7th, 17th, and 27th of each month. Please join us for our next episode.
Bye-bye.
Hey, buddy. How you doing, buddy? What's up, buddy? Hi.